name of the freedom bestowed upon us by God, under the watchful eyes of divine providence, this manifesto arises as a cry of resistance against the yoke of the secular state, the soul-destroying collectivism, and the moral chaos that threatens the natural order established by the Creator. We, as children of the Christian faith and defenders of individual liberty, proclaim that it is both our right and our duty to reject the coercive structures that rise against the sovereignty of God and the inalienable rights of man. Here is my Anarcho-Christian manifesto in the name of divine freedom against the fackles of Leviathan. First postulate, the primacy of God over man and man over the state. The Lord, in his infinite wisdom, created man free, granting him the capacity to act according to his conscience, illuminated by reason and revelation. This divine gift of freedom is non-negotiable. No state, no ruler, no collective entity can legitimately revoke that which God has granted. Then Jesus said to those Jews who believed in him, "If you abide in my word, you are my disciples indeed. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." John 8:31-32. St. Basil the Great exhorted, "True freedom is found in submission to the will of God, for when we serve God, we are not slaves but free children." The state, in arrogating absolute powers over life, property, and conscience, becomes a usurper that seeks to occupy God's throne on earth. Christian libertarianism, however, is not moral anarchy. It is the capacity to obey divine law without the coercion of human powers that are perversions of the natural law established by God. Second postulate, the Austro-Libertarian foundation economy as a reflection of natural order. Rooted in the tradition of the Austrian School of Economics, Austro-Libertarianism recognizes the free market as an extension of the divine natural order. Ludwig von Mises and Friedrich Hayek demonstrated the superiority of economic calculation in free markets, revealing how state intervention corrupts the spontaneous harmony God intended. The Lord rewards each one according to their deeds and the fruit of their actions. Jeremiah 5:10 p.m. Just as God ordains the universe with justice, free markets reflect the principle of individual responsibility and the just reward for labor. St. John Chrysostom taught, "The marketplace is an opportunity for virtue. Here, man can be just, honest, and generous. But greed and interference corrupt what ought to be sacred." Austro-libertarianism is more than economics. It is the defense of free human action and respect for private property. Murray Rothbard connected libertarianism to solid ethical principles, asserting that aggression against the property and freedom of others is morally wrong, a view that echoes the divine commandment, "Thou shalt not steal." Exodus 8:15 p.m. Third postulate, paleolibertarianism, conservative morality is the basis of freedom. Paleolibertarianism transcends the defense of markets and liberty, emphasizing the preservation of traditional values, such as family, religion, and community morality. It emerged as a reaction to progressive trends within modern libertarianism that neglected the moral foundations of freedom. Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. Psalm 127:1. St. Nicholas Velimurovic warned, "A society that rejects Christian values in exchange for licentiousness will fall into the slavery of its own passions and be devoured by tyrannical rulers." Lou Rockwell and Murray Rothbard argued that freedom without morality is self-destructive. Moral order is indispensable for human flourishing, as St. Pharazim of Pharev teaches, "Acquire the spirit of peace, and thousands around you will be saved." Fourth postulate, Hoppeanism, property, order, and community defense. Hoppeanism, formulated by Hans Hermann Hoppe, deepens libertarian insights with a critique of democracy and a radical defense of private property. Hoppe argued that democracy is inherently unstable, incentivizing politicians to exploit resources and violate property rights. "My kingdom is not of this world." John 6:36 p.m. As Christ rejected earthly forms of power, Hoppe envisions a society rooted in private and voluntary order, guided by morality rather than coercion. Hoppe introduced the concept of physical removal as a means of community defense, emphasizing that a free society must protect itself against elements threatening its moral and economic order. This echoes St. Paul's exhortation, "Expel the wicked person from among you." 1 Corinthians 5:13. The centrality of private property in 𝕸𝖐𝖆𝖊𝑑 aligns with St. John Chrysostom's teaching. Property is a gift from God to be used wisely and shared in love, but never stolen or taken by force. Fifth postulate, moral order against the chaos of the state. Contrary to modern lies equating freedom with licentiousness, we affirm that true freedom is found in obedience to Christ's moral law. All things are lawful for me, but not all things are beneficial. 1 Corinthians 6:12. Christian freedom demands deferment and responsibility, virtues corrupted by the secular state, which promotes moral relativism, blasphemy, and heretical practices. St. Athanasius declared, "The state that exalts itself above God will be destroyed by its own pride, but the man who submits to divine will live in eternal freedom." Eighth postulate, the courageous witness of the Church and the freedom of the saints. Orthodox Church history is a living chronicle of resistance against tyranny. From early martyrs to confessors under totalitarian regimes, the saints demonstrated that faithfulness to Christ is incompatible with submission to secular power that desires divine law. We must obey God rather than men. Acts 5:29. St. Nicholas the Wonder-worker courageously opposed unjust authorities in defense of the oppressed, affirming, "True authority serves God and neighbor, not itself at the expense of the people." Final proclamation. May this manifesto be a declaration of war against tyranny, and a call for the restoration of divine order. Under the banner of the cross, we march as pilgrims, rejecting the Leviathan while joyfully anticipating the kingdom of heaven. For the Lord is our judge, the Lord is our lawgiver, the Lord is our king, he will save us. Isaiah 33:22. Glory to God in the highest, and peace to men of good will. Hail Jesus Christ, King of Kings.